Damn phones, Babylons can't crack the code.
Colorado has been one of the most talked about college football teams this entire 2023 college football offseason, leading back to when they first hired Deion Sanders to be their head coach. The media coverage this offseason has been insane for Colorado, as it seems like if you go anywhere for college football, recruiting, or even news in general, you're going to be seeing something from Colorado, whether it's just a little quote from Deion Sanders himself about the team, players entering the portal, or players transferring to Colorado, and of course, high school recruiting. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about something that's not exactly about the Colorado football team, but instead about a couple players that have left the team post their spring game and have landed at Pac-12 opponents that just so happen to be playing Colorado in the 23 college football campaign. It's worth noting that despite these two players being some of the top talent from that 1-11 team in 2022, they were expected to be key returners and have an impact on the team itself in 2023. Before I move on, remember to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Now let's get into it. The first thing I'm going to be talking about in today's video is the complete roster overhaul that Colorado is experiencing right now for year one under Deion Sanders before they even ever play an actual game. Yes, the team in 2022 went 1-11 and was the worst Pac-12 team out there. And of course, with any college football program that brings in a new coach, the new coach is going to bring in his new players that are going to fit his program and his scheme the best for the team. And of course, that goes for every program out there with any new head coach. Players are going to transfer, and you're going to be noticing it for the next 1 to 3 seasons, as the old players are going to leave eventually as the new players come in. But Colorado is doing it slightly different, as it seems like this season they're primarily driving out the entire 2022 roster that was on the 23 team, or expected to be on the 23 team, as Deion Sanders is bringing in all new players. It's pretty much an entirely new team from last year's roster, with only a handful of guys being from that 22 team to 23. According to On3 in the 2023 transfer portal, they have brought in 46 transfers as of the recording of this video, and 57 have transferred out. Out of the many transfers that Colorado has had during this transfer portal cycle, especially after their spring game, one of the biggest ones I feel like is a critical one that left is Jordan Tyson, wide receiver from the 2022 team. He was a true freshman All-American honorable mention, and was a very big bright spot for that team. He was second in receptions for that Colorado team. He led the team in receiving yards and receiving touchdowns and yards per receptions. He had 22 receptions for 470 yards, 21 yards per receptions, and 4 receiving touchdowns. Tyson would sustain an injury at the very end of his freshman campaign, which would end up in him having surgery and missing the entirety of spring ball for Colorado, which may be a reason why he is transferring, because of the talent they brought in at wide receiver and not being able to acclimate with the team as well as he may have wanted because of the entire new roster overhaul and with a new quarterback in Shedeur Sanders. But I was under the impression that he was going to be a pretty key player once he was healthy and back with the team, not only for year one in 2023, but down the line. He has 3 years of eligibility. He's a very big play, deep ball threat with amazing speed, and I just believed overall he was going to be a great receiver in that offense. I like their offensive coordinator and their system, and of course, I believe they have a very good quarterback in Shedeur Sanders. But where did Tyson end up transferring? Tyson would end up transferring to an in-conference opponent, Arizona State. In the very early process of the transfer portal, he was expected to go to Oklahoma, but he's now ended up at Arizona State, where he's expected to be a very big key part of that offense under a program that's also going to have a first-year head coach in the Pac-12 in Kenny Dillingham. Another big portal exit for Colorado is someone that came out of nowhere, someone that people really didn't think was going to transfer out, especially after his spring game performance, and that was none other than Montana Lemonius Craig. Montana in the 22 campaign had a pretty good year for Colorado and was a very key part of their team. and was yet again another bright spot similar to Tyson. He led them in receptions with 23, with 359 receiving yards, averaging nearly 16 yards a reception and 3 touchdowns through the air. Now, he was expected to be a very key returner for Colorado and their offense, and if you watched the spring game, you thought this guy was going to have a very big season and be a very big part of Colorado football in 2023. In the spring game for Colorado, Montana Lemonius Craig was arguably the best player performance-wise for that game. I'm not saying he is, but if you're going to be talking about the most notable performances from that day, he's definitely going to be one of the first guys you bring up, as he had 3 receptions for 154 yards and 2 touchdowns. And if you're a Colorado fan or just a fan of college football looking from the outside in, since that game was broadcasted live on ESPN, you definitely would have thought that Montana was going to have a big role for Colorado in 2023. Similar to his former teammate Tyson, MLC would also find himself transferring in conference to another Pac-12 opponent in Arizona, both staying in the same state. And of course, both going to offenses that are expected to be pretty good offenses in general. In 2022, I believe Arizona had a very underrated offense, that they were pretty high scoring and averaged a lot of yards a game, and of course will be returning one of the more underrated quarterbacks in my opinion from 2022 into 2023 in Jaden Delora. And I'm expecting Montana Lemonius Craig to be a very big and vital part of that offense. With both of these players staying in the Pac-12 conference, it really does make you wonder if there is a intention in going to these schools to potentially get revenge on Colorado, as both Arizona State and Arizona are in the same conference as Colorado, as I've mentioned, but also play them in the 2023 college football season. And of course, you're not the only players from the Colorado team from 2022 that have entered the portal post the spring game that have decided to stay in conference. But Montana Lemonius Craig and Jordan Tyson are the two that have been talked about the most as the 2 biggest portal casualties for Colorado football post the spring game and in this transfer portal cycle in general, as they were both very key returners from 2022 and were expected to have a pretty good impact for the team in 2023. And both of these players are rated as 4 stars in the 2023 transfer portal rankings for 24/7 Sports. And they both had offers from a lot bigger schools and programs than Arizona and Arizona State, having some of the top offers from some of the top teams in the nation, from schools in the SEC, Big 12, Big 10, you can name it. They had some of the bigger offers than just Arizona and Arizona State. And of course, I understand that opportunity is big for anyone in the portal, but you do have to have that kind of thought in your mind if it was their intention to stay in the Pac-12 to purposely play Colorado. To close out this video, I do want to give my final thoughts on Colorado, and of course, everything that's been going on with them this offseason, the big roster overhaul, and how it's been publicized by the media and the transfer portal. I do believe that the roster overhaul is necessary for Colorado football. I feel like it shouldn't take a genius to really explain it. They went 1-11 in 2022, and any new coaching staff that's going to be taking over that team is going to conduct a very big roster overhaul. And as I referenced earlier in the video, yes, it usually is done throughout 1 to 2 seasons, maybe even 3, but this one seems to be doing it all in one season with Deion Sanders as their new head coach, which is definitely one of the more rare approaches to it, but yet again, every program that hires a new head coach, they seem to generally do this as they want their guys playing in their systems, not the guys they didn't recruit or the guys that don't necessarily fit their said systems. And yes, I also do believe that Colorado is going to be a much improved team in 2023, and I do think they can make a bowl game and ultimately impress a lot of people in the 23 season. Do I think they're going to win a Pac-12 championship? No. Are they going to go to the College Football Playoff? No. But they're going to be a lot more of an improved team, and yes, of course, look a lot different, not only as a roster, but also as production-wise from 2022 to 2023. This is a video that I've had interest in making, as, of course, Colorado is very publicized for the transfer portal with how many people have exited the program and how much people that Deion Sanders is bringing in as of the recording of this video. And Montana, Lemonius Craig, and Jordan Tyson were just two of the players that were seen as very big hits to Colorado, leaving the team post-spring game. And they had some very big offers in the portal, as I've mentioned. And I think it's just kind of, I'm not going to say a coincidence that they ended up at Pac-12 schools, but I definitely feel like there may be some intentions to wanting to play Colorado in 2023 or even just down the road in the future to show that coaching staff and that team what they potentially are missing out on. Well guys, you've made this far in today's video. Drop something down in the comment section below what videos you want to see in the future, and before you head out, remember to smash that like button, turn on those post notifications, and subscribe if you haven't already. B. Kelly out.